know it's incredibly late if you're on the East Coast, and it's probably not as late if you're on the West Coast. I have a little bit of a cold. How to coach yourself. I'm acting like Kyle Cease and shit with these videos. Speaking of consciousness, check out Kyle Cease. Dude's pretty enlightened. Anyways, I want to share with you an experience that I had today. I coached myself out of anger, frustration, and anxiety. I talked to myself. What's up, David? And I want to, and it worked so well that I have to share this with you, because this is a tool that I found that it's so simple. Coach Rob from EgoEdge.com, one of my best friends. The guy's an NLP certified master hypnotherapist, life coach. You've probably heard me talk about him all the damn time. He said the whole point of therapy or coaching is to set you up with a list of tools that you develop in your consciousness that you can actually free yourself from the coach. And now you can actually coach yourself, father yourself, create your own sense of well-being. And did you hear what I said? So everybody needs coaching. The most successful people pay for coaching, for therapy and all types of shit, so you could become the best version of you and untangle all that shit. But you can get to the point where you grow up, you get off your training wheels, and now you can self-manage your emotions. You got certified in NLP and hypnosis? That's amazing. I think I'm going to invest in the Webcaster 2. It's a piece of technology that you put on top of like a fancy camera, and then you could broadcast to YouTube or Facebook and have really high quality video. But aside from that, I digress. So in the last video I spoke that I got in a little bit of fight with my wife, normal married couple stuff in the video before this. We just had a disagreement and got in an argument. It happens maybe once a month around the time she's on her period. Look at me. And then by the time I got home, I was like, hey, I'm sorry for being an asshole. I was just upset. Some stuff built up. And then next thing you know, we're on the couch and I'm rubbing her feet and we're watching a movie. So it's really interesting. The longer I'm with my wife, when we were younger and we first got married, we would fight for like 2-3 days, sometimes 4 days straight. Now our fights last maximum like a few hours, and we're like, this is stupid. And we just, next thing you know, it's all good. Love always wins. But anyways, you are an expert video marketer. Let's be in touch. I can make a difference for you. Interesting. Send me an email at kalfasmedia, Kalfas media @gmail.com. So I want to tell the story of how I coach myself. I had a lot of work to do, so I'm running on 2 hours of sleep, and I stayed up until 10:45, 11 a.m. this morning. I worked all through the night, and almost till noon. I got a lot of shit done. But you ever get those feelings like you're so far behind in your life, and you want to be successful so bad, and you feel like you're trapped or paralyzed, and it's not happening for you, like total anxiety. I was so pissed off today. I went to the gym to work out. I drug my ass to the gym, and I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't have time to work out. I have to work and make money and move my life forward. Going to the gym is a waste of fucking time. I'm like, just get your ass to the gym, because when you physiologically move your body and you get a workout, do push-ups, go jogging, you actually feel a lot better, because even though how you feel is real to you in the moment, you can't get anywhere through anger and frustration. So I didn't even put on gym shorts. I'm in the gym in my jeans and a shirt, just cranking out reps, working out. I do back, bicep, chest, tricep, shoulders, legs, abs, stretch, and then I like do a little bit of cardio, swim and stuff like that. And I've noticed I'm already starting to get some of my muscles back, but I don't really care about that. But so I'm sitting in the jacuzzi. Endorphins, yeah. And I was so aggravated. Like, I just felt, you ever feel like you're burning in hell? Anxiety is running through your body. You're literally experiencing astral hell at that moment. You feel like your life is closing down on you, and you're just miserable. And I said, I'm not where I want to be. I got to be so much more successful. Why isn't it happening for me? How am I supposed to make all this, do all this at once? I'm trying my best. Like, you start going like that, like you feel that way. I'm trying my best. I'm giving everything I have, and it's not, I can't, like, I don't have the money to hire all these people to do it. Like, you start going to like a victim mode, right? And then something happened. I go, wait a second. I took a breath and I said, I'm just creating this right now. That's not true. Is that true? It's not true. Nutritional supplements? Check this out. I mean, I'm like on tons of nutritional supplements. I got, well, this shit makes me, I take it and I fall asleep, but this Alpha Brain Memory and Focus, it's really strong. I guess I'm sensitive to it. But then after I take a nap, I'm really, really good. And this is attendant stuff, neurotropics and stuff. But anyways, I said, is this true? It's not true. I am successful. 6 years ago, I was flat broke in a $10 an hour job at the age of like 28. I was facing bankruptcy. I had gotten sued. I had attorneys calling me and debt collectors. I could barely hold on to a driver's license. I was broke, and my life was a disaster, right? And I go, fast forward today, I'm doing like 6 figures in my business. I own 2 corporations. They're corporations on paper, but I have 2 companies. I have money in the bank, and all my bills are paid, and food in the fridge, and a brand new truck, and a healthy, happy wife and family, and a nice studio, and a YouTube channel with tens of thousands of subscribers. And I'm like, I'm healthy, and I'm in shape, and I'm like, and I said, wow, gratitude. You can find it just by saying, by living and being an American and living in America, or being born here and not being born in a communist country or something like that, right? It's like we forget to give ourselves any credit at all. It's almost like we are our own worst critic, and we dump on ourselves and we treat ourselves like shit in those moments. We discount everything that we've been working towards and how hard, and even if you're giving your best efforts, as long as you're giving effort and you're trying and you're really, really a careful, thoughtful, considerate person who's always thinking about doing good and being successful, that's successful. Like, how could we discount ourselves like that? And we need to give ourselves more credit. I said, and I started talking myself down. I'm sitting in the jacuzzi. I go, no, Keith, and you're in the gym right now. And I started arguing with myself, telling myself all the reasons why. And I said, everything's gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be okay. And I shit you not, man. The anxiety just flooded right out of me, and I was like, yeah. Until the emotions and the energy elevated, and I was just chilling, and I was happy. And I learned that you can't really get anywhere when you are angry and frustrated. It doesn't work. So ask yourself these questions. Here's a good one Coach Rob taught me. If you're freaking out and acting like a bitch, I'm not saying women are bitches. I'm not saying that. But you're acting like a wuss, so to speak. But he said, ask yourself a question when you're freaking out. It's like the feminine energy where a man gets like hyperventilating and shit. He's acting like a wuss, right? Say, how am I conducting myself right now? Do I sound like a woman who's in distress, or a man who knows how to handle himself? Do I sound like a woman in distress right now, or a man who knows how to handle himself? There's times, and there's times when I know when I was a younger man, and I know some men that when they get upset or they feel frustrated or in anxiety, their voice raises and they start acting like a woman in distress. And I've done it before in front of my wife. I like acting like a complete wuss and losing my composure and raising my voice, talking really fast. And my wife will lose all disrespect for me in those moments, and I have to reflect and be like, oh my God. Sometimes when we get under pressure as men, we crumble under that pressure, right? And then we just start flaking out and acting like the energy goes all over the place, and we start acting like a total wuss. David D'Angelo has a program called The 77 Laws of Success with Women in Dating. It's amazing, bro. He says, rule number 1, accept everything the way it is. And then he talked about never lose your composure, ever. Wow. Oh, that was good. Let me read this. Neurotrophics. Sweet. I'm gonna go to bed here in a minute. I got a buddy of mine who's a pro cameraman. He's coming over tomorrow morning. We're filming a scene. It's an actual like B-roll for this video I'm doing. It'll probably be one of the highest level production YouTube videos I've ever done. It's on Rodeo Drive in LA. So I flew to LA and we videotaped me on Rodeo Drive. Thank you, David Rocher. I hope I said it right. I should show you a clip of this. I'll show you a clip of it. Nobody's ever seen this. This is going to be up hopefully in a week, because this is a pretty large project. Look at this. I'll flip it around. I'll show you guys my new video. You ready? Okay, this is my editing station. See? Okay, here goes. Oh, it's playing through the headphones. I gotta put it through the speakers, because I was editing in the middle of the night and I didn't want it on the speakers. Excuse me. Have you ever been so inspired? You got a vision and you knew exactly who you wanted to be. It was so clear that your heart was filled with hope and instilled in your mind was a dream. Have you ever been so on fire? Good night, good night. Because you knew you were on the cusp of a breakthrough. I'm just gonna be real as fuck. Okay, so I grew up with these huge dreams. I wanted to be somebody. I wanted to be something. I was trying so hard, and back in 2010, I lost everything, and I had a complete nervous breakdown. I went financially almost bankrupt. I had gotten sued. I lost everything. I'm 34 now, but at the age of 27, I found myself crying in a basement with literally, I had taken my clothes off and stripped down to nothing because I had nothing, and I put my face on the floor and I was bawling my eyes out because I knew cut a lot of fat out
I was literally gonna end up a grown-ass man, a loser, who had nothing and was worth nothing. And I couldn't believe somebody who thought he was so smart and was so good and knew what he was doing could end up such a loser. So when I was sitting there bawling my eyes out, I made this decision. I'm not gonna get up and come out of this basement and move forward on with my life until I'm changed and I can put this ego thing aside.
This is Sony Vegas. I've got Premiere Pro.
Foundation. I'm literally working a full-time job for $10 an hour now at 28 years old. Flat broke, coming home, doing an eviction notice on the door.
See.
I've got debt collectors calling me.
Got a little pad there for my dog.
And I'm literally crapping my pants. I was so scared, I couldn't stop shaking. Like, you ever been drug out in life, like all the way to the edge, like you're operating on a shoestring and you're scared to death and you can't stop shaking, bro? You ever been so scared that your stomach keeps turning and you literally feel like you're going to vomit constantly? Like you're sleeping like 2-3 hours a night and every second of your life is a waking nightmare. So you step back, right? You're scared, you're terrified, you're freaked out. I was like, I gotta do something about this, bro. I've gotta do something, and I'm doing everything I can do every second of every waking moment of the day and night, and it's not doing nothing. It's throwing a spitball at a brick wall. You ever like, you feel like you're so worthless, your self-esteem is so low, and you're such a piece of crap. Now you start to develop a vengeful anger, and you want to literally just put your fist through the wall, and you might even put your fist through the wall, and when you do that, now you're a violent person. Now you're violent. So like you start losing your mind. Like people want to have an intervention with you because you're just trying to have a breakthrough. But sometimes you got to have a breakdown to have a breakthrough, right? I remember one time I flipped out in front of my wife and I started taking all the pictures down in our crappy apartment on the wall. She's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
So there's a lot of stuff that's going to get cut out of that. But check out this transition real quick. This is sick. Right here. You got to see this.
You literally become blind, and that's when you start making stupid mistakes because you're not calibrated. You're not balanced and calibrated. There's a certain part of you that has to stay grounded and real, while another part of you flies and chases that dream. You feel like you're down in a hole and the world just keeps throwing shit on you and throwing shit on you, right? But you gotta shake that shit off and step up. You gotta shake that shit off and step up. Dude, how are you gonna do that if you're looking down around all the muck and all the shit that you're in? You gotta look up and gaze up at what you want and keep your eyes wide open on that. Because the temptations are gonna come, the turbulence is gonna come, the haters and the naysayers, they're going to attack you. They're going to attack you. When you align yourself with the universe, when you align yourself with your spirit, when you align yourself with the highest, greatest good, when you align yourself with God, that's when the demons try to run you up. That's when the demons jump on your back. That's when the critical, negative people, even the people that are supposed to love you, the people in your family, they're going to cut you down. They know exactly what to say. They spit fire like lizards. They spit it out and it runs you up. That's when the wolves in sheep's clothing come. That's when you stay up late at night dripping in sweat and fear, terrified of your own success. So I heard this saying once, the highest level.
Okay, that's enough. So my buddy coming over tomorrow is a pro editor. He used to be living in the south side of Chicago in a basement. I can relate to you, bro. You're my new friend. Drop the audio -6 dB. Ah, very smart. Yeah, I exported something recently and I uploaded YouTube and it wasn't at -6 dB. And I put a multi-band compressor on it. It sounded like shit, bro. Because it was way too loud. I'm tired. Alrighty, yo. The music is a bit loud on the primary audio. It might just be because it's coming through, and I'm not trying to act like I know everything, but here, and I've played it back on my phone, the actual version of it after it's exported, it sounds really good and balanced. And I know it's probably the way it comes through on the speaker, something's jumping. living in an 8x8 box. If there's anybody here watching this right now, if you are in the dark night of the soul, and you are flat ass broke, and you are grinding and hustling, you're trying, and you're down and out, and no matter what you touch, it turns to shit. I'll tell you what I had to do that changed everything. And fuck, it doesn't just change in an instant. It's years of absolute fucking hell. But we hold on to sets of false ideals. We actually hold on to these certain ways of thinking and being in these ideals, and we won't let go of it no matter what. Because we're afraid. The ego believes that you're going to literally die if you let go and change. And change just means to change, shift energy, right? You just change. The ego fears death, so it runs and it hides in the basement, and it runs and hides in the dark, and when you shine a flashlight or a light on it, it runs. You have to pin the ego down and shine a light onto it and pin it down until it dissolves. And from that place is the catalyst that changes everything. When I was changing back in early 2011, I was going out in my car in the middle of the night and shaking and crying uncontrollably and shit. And I would call up life coach Rob, and I'm like, dude, what's going on with me? I'm like shaking and crying, and it's the ego is suffering because it doesn't know what to do. It feels like you're dying. It actually feels like you're dying. There was a couple times in my life where I actually thought I was actually dying, and it was ego death. And I got on the phone with my life coach, and then I said, dude, I actually am afraid that I'm just got a cold. But dying, I said back then, you know, you feel like you're terrified, right? It's so amazing to be around enlightened people. He said to me, I would just propose that it's ego death. He would lay out the facts. He'd be like, you're a very healthy person, blah, blah, blah. Ego death feels like you're actually dying. You have to kill the ego. And just because you kill it once doesn't mean that it can't sneak back up over and over again in multiple different forms and fashions. It's very pseudo. If you smash it in the front, it sneaks in the back door. It's like the whack-a-mole game, right? You hit it and it pops up over here, then you hit it over here and it pops up over there, and you hit it over here. It's always trying to seep through the cracks and take over. It's an entity. What's up, Jacob Padilla? Casey Lee, what up, Dow? We got TNS cleanup and removal in the house, Dow. I wish and expect so much prosperity into your life consistently too, brother. I want to talk about wealth and prosperity for a moment. I have a love-hate relationship with money. When you grow up poor as fuck on welfare and food stamps and shit, and all you hear is we can't afford it growing up. When I started to get a little bit of money in my life, I experienced massive levels of guilt that were reseated deep down in my subconscious that I never knew existed. When you have money in the bank, people are always trying to hit you up to borrow money from you, and you become the most responsible person you know. But anyways, you like can beg God, please let wealth and prosperity flow into my life. Please, please open up the doorway of abundance and let it flow into my life. Who do I gotta be? What do I gotta do to make this happen? I'm trying my best and I can't get there. There's this saying, this is some spooky shit, and it works. I learned it from Bob Proctor. I'm so happy and thankful now that health, wealth, and prosperity flow into my life in avalanches of abundance from multiple sources on a continuous basis. Repeat it to yourself many, many times. I'm so happy and thankful. So you got to feel it. That's the emotion. This is real shit. I'm so happy and thankful. You got to feel thankful now. I'm so happy and thankful now that health, wealth, and prosperity flow into my life in avalanches of abundance from multiple sources on a continuous basis. I'm so happy and thankful now that health, wealth, and prosperity flow into my life in avalanches of abundance from multiple sources on a continuous basis. I said that over and over and over and over and over. 2012, 2013, and now I have multiple sources of, I can't even talk about it with my ego coming in. As soon as I even talk about it, my ego, this egotistical stroke, this hit of like validation comes through and wants to be validated by you. So I just shut myself up. Like I'm, like it's weird, bro. It's like a demon or something. It's the spirit of mammon, and it needs to be objectified and killed. Like I can't even say it. I can't even say it. I have multiple streams of residual income. Even when I say it, it sounds like I'm a liar and I'm looking for a hit of validation to mean that I'm somebody, that I'm worthy, because I feel unworthy so deep down inside. So do you feel unworthy deep down inside? Because a lot of that shit just stops you and cuts you right off from, you could literally double your income this year, your profit. If you make 30 grand a year, take home, you can make 60,000 take home this year. What is that? Five grand a month profit. That's 1,250 a week. So you probably have to make, I don't know, 15, 16, 1,700 or something gross. I didn't do the math. So you'd have to make 78, 80 something thousand gross to make 60,000 profit. You make 60, you can make 120. You can make 240. You can make 480. Just by simply clarifying a couple things in your own worthiness. But I can tell you one thing. Some of the income that I have that comes in, passive income, so it means it flows no matter what. It just keeps coming in nonstop. I literally can't even believe it. I can't even look at it. Like, I have books that sell on the internet, like all over like the world, and it's not thousands, but it's dozens and dozens of books every month, and I get pretty substantial checks month after month after month after month after month after month. They just keep coming in. And when these checks just keep showing up in the mailbox, and I'm only sharing this out of my heart, okay? When these checks, can I get a hello? I have these checks that are showing up in my mailbox from all over the place. And every time I open the check, I drop to my knees and I start praying. Oh my God, thank you, Lord, thank you. I literally can't even believe that this is happening. And it's been happening for a few years now, and I literally can't even believe that it's happening. It's like, this isn't me, it's not happening. Like, so I have some pretty serious, poverty consciousness that I have to work on myself. I mean, I'm about to be 35, and my new truck outside, it's like every time I park to go grocery shopping, I look back at it, I'm like, and I see the keys in my hand, I'm like, this is my truck? I can't even believe this. It's not even my truck. It's not even real. And I'm like, what the fuck? I guess when you've grown up so poor for so fucking long and you've spent so many years crying under the stars with nothing but lint in your pocket, trying your hardest and it never ever happening, hoping and wishing and dreaming and praying that one day you'll get the fuck out of that cardboard box, that one day you'll get out of that trailer, one day you'll have money. And it still doesn't happen, and years of your life go by. I'll tell you one thing, when it finally happens, you're like, I don't believe this, I can't accept it, I don't believe it. I'm just as weirded out now. I'm like by no means rich or anything. I'm just like a middle-class dude who owns a fucking landscaping window cleaning business, just like a lot of guys on here. But to be financially independent, I don't even know how to handle it, because you spend so much of your life without it, and then you can become bitter for a while too, because you say, oh my God, this was in my fucking control the whole time. If I would have stopped being a victim all those years and learned the things that I know now and just went out and took the actions, the money would have showed up 10 years ago, and I was thinking it was outside of my control, that I was cursed. Like, I want you to have a breakthrough right now. If you're watching this, I mean, it's really hard to get off of square one. I want you to have a fucking breakthrough and realize, like, literally 6 months from now, you could change your whole life. You could literally crush it and have more money than you've ever had in your entire life. And when you get it, you're going to be like, whoa. Like, I was on the phone with Josh Amoroso last night. Pretty smart. Let me see what you're saying. I'm reading everything that you guys are reading. Let go of victim consciousness. So, I think we do anywhere between $12,000 to $25,000 a month in my service business. Yeah, absolutely. And Rivera. When you hear your parents, you're not even aware that when you're a kid, your parents are fighting over money and always in financial anxiety. So it actually instills a virus inside of you. It happens to you, right? And you're not even aware of it. So, all right, I'm going to get up on out of here. I wish you the best of success. Sorry for yawning in the video. All things are possible to those who believe. Oh, I was also one thing more about belief now that you brought that up. If you wanted to go to Home Depot and buy some 2x4s and some nails, what's stopping you? Nothing, maybe a couple bucks, right? And if you wanted to go out in your front yard and like lay some footings and pour some concrete and just build like a shed, I don't know, you build a shed and then you wanted to go buy some like, you know, plywood and some shingles and shingle it, but you could literally build like a little house outside. I'm just making this shit up. What stopped you? Well, if you're sitting there saying you don't believe you can do it and you don't do it, like, but when you build it, it's there. You just got to go build it. And when you go build it, it's right there. Like, you just go do it. If you have an ice cube tray and you pour the water in one and it seeps into all the other things of the ice cube tray, if you were to expand that ice cube tray from 12 to like, you know, 24 to 36, it would fit more water. You can make more ice cubes just by building it or making it, right? There's a part of us that gets caught in this mythical belief pattern that we cannot have certain things. Like, oh, how do they do that? It can't happen for me. But we're not doing the fucking work to make it happen. It's absolutely, for the most part, I know there's talents and shit. Like, you can't slam dunk a basketball if you're 5'2". Maybe you could, but we have so much more capacity to do. Just go do it, and the chances are it will probably show up in your life. But yet we sit back and say, oh, it's impossible, it can't happen. Like, we make up excuses. It's a hard pill to swallow, but we make up excuses. One of my biggest things I suffer from is hardcore ADD. When I sit down in front of the computer to work, I mean, I piss away several hours just like having a complete meltdown. Like I'm burning in hell. It feels like my skin is crawling, and I have to handcuff myself to the desk until all that anxiety goes away, and then I can start writing my book. sometimes an entire day will go by where I'm suffering in complete anxiety the entire day, from the time I wake up and I can't even go to sleep, all the way till I go to sleep, and then I wake up normal. And that entire 24 hours that I had planned, I want to do a TED Talk about this shit, because there's, like, people are so, not me, like, I have plans to do shit on a Thursday, and Thursday goes out the window, because I don't know if you call it piss away, but an entire Thursday will be spent suffering, getting nothing done, but suffering in complete fucking hell and anxiety for the whole Thursday gone. and I feel like I'm like tripping in a nightmare, and it's like being crucified or something. And that happens at least twice a week. And then you have those days where you're unstoppable, right? When you're unstoppable, you make all these decisions, you say yes to all these things, and then you have this dip where you're like, you go through really shitty times and you're like, fuck, I said yes, I can't even do any of that, right? So it's like, yes, no, but now you're breaking your integrity with yourself and with others because you said yes to all these things. And then they say, when you try to use self-discipline down here with force, when you're down, it just makes it worse. It's like all you can do in those times is just let go and surrender and watch what I say is your dreams piss down the toilet. But that's more negative. So I really want to get to the bottom of this. Does anybody else here experience that? I love to be in a group with all you guys, like in a room, and talk about all this shit for like 5 hours and take notes. Wow, reconstructive spinal surgery? I'm sorry, dude. Alright, I'm out of here. I'm going to bed. I gotta get up for a thing, and I appreciate your time. If you're on the East Coast, you are a night owl. If you're on the West Coast, well, you're a night owl. I'm a night owl, too. Okay. Dirt monkey, lawn care millionaire. Yeah, you have the anxiety too? Oh yeah. Oh, you did not accept the diagnosis? That's amazing. Wow, dude. I fucking love YouTube. I love this technology. This is amazing. You refused surgery and you healed? That's dope. Good for you, man. I'd like to look in your eyes and shake your hand, man. That's you want to go for a jog? That's amazing, dude. Alright, I'm out of here. Peace out, my brothers.